Hi everyone. Thank you very much for having me. So my name's Martin Saunders. I'm the product director for Highlight. But actually, what I'm here to talk about is Level Up, laptop appeal for disadvantaged children. So back in March, I like pretty well every other parent in the country had my children descend on me at home. And aside from the usual chaos around trying to sort out homeschooling and working at the same time, one of the problems that we didn't have in our house, at least, was getting them access to the internet. I've worked in the internet for a long time, as you can see, and they also all have, my kids also have laptops. But I'm also a town councillor, and I started to hear from the local schools of kids that didn't have access and didn't have any devices, and they were finding these children just going offline completely. They wouldn't hear from them, they wouldn't be submitting any schoolwork, and there was quite a concern being raised about what was happening to these children. It became very clear that either the household didn't have any form of internet access or any kind of laptops, or more commonly that they did have a laptop, but because the parent was being sent at home, that parent was using the device, and obviously the working parent has got to take priority over the child in doing schoolwork. So this felt like a crazy situation to be in, particularly in a rich affluent country like the UK, and I felt compelled to do something about it. And what I did is set up Level Up. So Level Up is appeal to try and get internet access and laptops into the hands of disadvantaged children, initially in the area that I live, which is in Hawley in Surrey. So the first thing I did was to go and find a charity partner, because as an individual, it's quite hard for me to raise funds. So thank you very much for the YMCA East Surrey, who agreed to be my charity partner. And then I went to Hawley Town Council, which is the council I'm a councillor at, and Gatwick Airport Community Trust, and both of those two very generously donated me funds. So I had some funds. What was I going to do with them? So the first thing I did is I went on onto Facebook, and I started begging for laptops. And I got an incredible response from people in our area donating some really quite nice machines. Admittedly, some not so nice machines, quite a lot of machines that had a fair bit of breakfast in the keyboard. But by and large, a decent number of really nice machines. So we get these laptops in, and this is actually a picture of my son doing this. We take them apart and clean them just to make sure that all the dust is out of the fans. If they've got hard disks in them, I wipe those hard disks. Quite often I take those disks out. Sometimes I have to repair them. There's an amazing number of uses of Nerf bullets in repairing laptops. This is a nice example of holding a hard disk in. Once they're up and running, quite often I also upgrade them. I put a bit more RAM in them. I put an SSD, and I install Windows 10 if the laptop is fast enough, or I use Cloud Ready, which is a variant of the Chrome operating system for laptops that aren't quite up to running Windows 10. And once I've refurbished them, I give them to local schools for onward distribution. So a key thing with this is that I'm not in touch or in contact with any of the recipients of these devices. They go to local schools. Schools have a great knowledge of their students and what situation they're in. So there's no need to go public with these families and saying that I need help. It's all very private. So what's been the demand and progress? So as I mentioned, the town that I'm a councillor in and I live in is Hawley, and Hawley's right next to Gatwick Airport. And Gatwick has basically been closed for the last 3-4 months. Really no flights have been running in and out of it. And Gatwick is the main employer in Hawley, as well as, obviously, you can imagine, most of the local area. So Hawley's been really heavily hit when it comes to people being furloughed and now being made redundant. So Hawley is a reasonable sized town, 22,000 people, and we believe that there is a demand for about 250 laptops devices in Hawley. So to date, I've been running this project for a little over a couple of months, and I've managed to reach 97 laptops donated and refurbished and resent out to schools and in the hands of students so far. So good progress. 250 to go, so a little way to go. But as I mentioned, I don't tend to know where these go, but every so often I get some lovely feedback on Facebook of somebody that's received a laptop, and this young lady got a laptop early on in the project, and is so keen on using it that she's been working extra hard on her spelling tests and went from doing fairly well to going top of the class in the last 3 sets of tests, which is a lovely result for the project. So it's a very quick presentation. I need some help, please. You all work for technology businesses and you all eat through a ginormous number of laptops. I'm sure you've got laptops sitting in a cupboard. So if you have spare laptops that aren't being used, and you can go and persuade the IT department, or you might be the IT department, or you might manage the IT department, please convince them that Level Up is a good project to donate them to. If data security is a worry, I'm very happy to have laptops without their hard disks in them, because as I say, I tend to put solid state disks in anyway. I'm doing Level Up for Hawley. I can't really afford to spend more time in other areas doing it because I also have a full-time job at Highlight. So if you're interested in setting up Level Up where you live, I'm very interested to hear from you. I'm happy to share the knowledge and experience that I've built up over the last couple of months in doing this project. So if you're interested in doing Level Up where you are, I'm very happy to help. And finally, I'm very interested in any ideas or offers of short-term internet access. I've not yet managed to find a way of an efficient way of providing internet access for the families that need it. So if you work for a service provider that provides cellular access in one form or another, or if you provide access through Wi-Fi, or your internet connection share out Wi-Fi as part of a commercial service, and you can offer vouchers, I'm very interested in hearing from you on that as well. So love to have laptops. If you want to set up Level Up where you are, please get in touch. Or if you have any ideas for internet access, also please get in touch. And this is how you can get in touch with me. So that's the end of the presentation. If there are any questions. Oh, there's a few questions I can see on the list actually, if I can quickly mention. So there was a minimum level of functionality. So Windows 7 or higher is what I've been asking for. Windows 7 came out in 2009. So anything that's later than Windows 7 is usually pretty good. Battery life generally isn't an issue. If it has a decent battery, then fantastic. But it obviously needs a power supply for it to function. Are there any requirements for software licensing? As I mentioned, if it comes with Windows 7 and it has a Windows 7 license key, then that's brilliant. Windows 8 and Windows 10 come with a license on the BIOS. If it doesn't have a license key, that's not completely dead though, because I can install Cloud Ready on it as well.
Thanks, Martin. Unfortunately, we've lost Keith, but thanks for that talk, Martin.